Joining me in this exclusive conversation on the growing, increasing India-Pakistan tensions is Taqi, a Pakistani-American columnist and expert who weighs in on the issues when it comes to Pakistan. India is also the security issues when it comes to Pakistan. Many thanks for joining us here on the network. Let's begin with India's retaliation. Your first take on how India responded to the Pahalgam terror attack.
I think it was expected that India would respond. What kind of response was to be decided, and India chose the standoff posture. But when the hostilities broke out with the Pahalgam attack, I had said at that time that India or Pakistan does not have an overwhelming technological or military edge over each other. And I think that reflected in the air combat yesterday. There are reports of Indians losing planes and the PAF having performed rather well. So I think both sides can claim some face saving. Hopefully, from this point on, they can de-escalate. But I don't think that India got that overwhelming type of punitive action that it intended to deliver. Surely they targeted some facilities which might have been associated with the terror networks, LET and JEM and so on. But since two weeks had elapsed between then and now, most likely high-value targets were not there, and Pakistan is reporting civilian collateral damage, which is obviously deplorable.
Well, we do realize that Masood Azhar, he put out a statement, so he's alive. Hafiz Saeed still unhurt with the kind of action seen by India. But what is happening over here, Taqi, is the fact that this is the first time, maybe since 1971, that India actually breached the Punjab. That has never happened before. So what was unimaginable was actually going into Bahawalpur, Muridke, Sialkot. These are areas that nobody thought India would be looking at going into to dismantle terror infrastructure. Even if the leadership was not there, the infrastructure has been completely dismantled. Certainly, one can say optics, but there is substance to what has been done in terms of damage.
Right. I think back in 2016 and so on, India has tried to display that there can be an engagement against Pakistan below the nuclear threshold. As far as actually destroying infrastructure, I seriously doubt that any major destruction has taken place. These are sprawling complexes, and if indeed some civilian buildings were hit, then those were missed targets as well. They're all over the country. They're not necessarily just based in their headquarters and so on. Yes, it gives Indian government some rights to brag that they have breached that, but the standoff posture also indicates that they were exercising restraint and frankly apprehensive of the Pakistani capabilities. Limited engagements like these obviously are not something that one would use to make a wholesome assessment, but they do give an indication of the Pakistanis intending to engage, bring the Indian planes down. And if indeed 5 were lost, including 2 high-tech Rafale planes, then that's something that India should be wondering about.
Well, yeah, that is an information that has not been confirmed by the Indian side, but should that be the case, it would be considered a major loss. But in terms of the larger picture, what's your reading and assessment of where it's headed from here on? Are we looking at de-escalation with the kind of statements made by Khwaja Asif, where he's actually said that should India not venture into more action, Pakistan will not respond? Is there a step towards de-escalation, or are we looking at further escalation that Pakistan now will have to respond? The Pakistani army chief cannot sit quietly after the action on Bahawalpur, Muridke, Sialkot, POK, so on and so forth.
Actually, a bunch of high officials in Pakistan are saying the same thing. Defense Minister Khaja Asif has said that. One advisor to the PM, Shahbaz Sharif, Rana Sanaullah, made a similar statement that we have conveyed to the world that if India doesn't engage us or engage in further hostilities, then we won't. Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif is about to address the nation if it hasn't already started. So we might hear something to that effect. And like I said, as far as the optics go, if indeed 5 planes have been downed, which the PM claimed on the floor of the parliament today in Islamabad, that they have lost 5 planes, and he bragged about a technological advantage as well in the avionics. Then it gives Pakistan Army and the government enough bragging rights to wrap it up and call it a day. The way Pakistan, the core Pakistan, Punjab, and Sindh have rallied behind the government and the military, it serves the army rather well. Their political fortunes were in doldrums before this happened, quite sagging fortunes, and those have been restored, I would say, for the foreseeable future. I think General Asim Munir gained quite a bit from this. As a pro-peace person, my personal desire would be to see both sides standing down and de-escalating this. In the end analysis, it is the common soldier and civilians, mostly Kashmiris and those who live on each side of the line of control. They are the ones who actually suffer.
Okay, zooming into the Pakistani army a little and zooming out of the Indo-Pak tension specifically, Mohammad Taqi, are you looking at and are you seeing dissent within the army? Is Asim Munir in trouble? Is there more consolidation when it comes to Asim Malik? And could there be a situation where he could be ousted?
Absolutely not. I think he's sitting quite pretty right now. He has consolidated his position after the Imran Khan's party and some pro-Imran generals tried to stir some trouble. He has done some significant purging in both the rank and file, top brass included. He has the consolidation of the NSA and DGISI into one that actually sort of is a vote of no confidence on the civilian government, which is neither here nor there. Pakistani civilian governments are always weak and the last ones to find out what the army has decided as far as foreign policy and Indian policy specifically goes. So I think that consolidation was to create an interlocutor for Ajit Doval there, because right now the position was empty and I would say maybe too clever by half, where a military man talks to the Indian NSA. So I think in the foreseeable future, the civilian government, which is propped up by the army, is pretty safe. Army chief's position is safe, and I would venture to say that he would probably go for an extension.
All right, then let me ask you the final question on Pak isolation. The international community is not convinced this time around. Pakistan went to the United Nations Security Council, but hardly any takers on the false flag action claim by Pakistan, or for that matter, the issues they raised with regards to the action taken by India diplomatically. Instead, they asked questions about the Pahalgam terror attack and cross-border terror. Is there a problem when it comes to Pakistan's image internationally?
I don't think that Pakistan is bothered too much with their image. They've been doing this sort of proxy warfare in Afghanistan and in Kashmir over the years, and a lukewarm chastising or nap on the knuckles would not really matter. And I don't think that there is any very significant condemnation coming from any capital. I would venture to say that India also did not muster the kind of support that it wanted, like a wholehearted support for a major military action. You heard the U.S. Vice President who was there, that he would understand that India responds, but to de-escalate. So I really don't think that the world has the stomach for two nuclear powers going to war with each other at this point, and everyone would sleep happier if the de-escalation takes place. As far as the false flag operation goes, that's a stretch from the Pakistani side, and it reminded me of something that happened after Mumbai attacks. The then DGISI, Ahmed Shuja Pasha, was asked, was it your operation? And he said, Log hamare the, operation hamara nahi tha. It was our people, but not our operation. So that is another possibility in this situation. When you have this kind of jihadist ecosystem, it's very likely that somebody would have started something of this sort for their own organizational needs and whatnot. Plus, the atmosphere in Kashmir has never been conducive to a peaceful Indian rule. You cannot have a whole region and people pinned down by 500,000 troops and expect 100% support for what? After Article 340, the status of the state has changed. So there is resentment as well, which people can tap into it.
It was not the terrorists who were targeting military troops or, for that matter, military targets. These were civilians, tourists. They were singled out for their
highly condemnable, but that's what terrorism is.
Yeah, so the playbook has changed quite a bit, and there was outrage within the valley itself. People were condemning what has happened because tourism is their mainstay, and they are impacted because of this one terror attack.
Unfortunately, this whole thing is not tenable, and both sides, India and Pakistan, need to realize that. And as a human rights advocate, I would say that the right to self-determinate is an inalienable right of any people, be it Kashmiris, be it Baloch, be it Palestinians, anywhere in the world. So their predicaments are not very different from each other. So what is good for the goose is good for the gander also.
On that note, Mohammad Taqi, thank you so much for joining us here on the network and explaining exactly where India and Pakistan stand, and that this war, proxy or not, is not tenable for both countries. Thank you.